When Captain Leslie Brampton Fox MC returned from Palestine at the end of the First World War, he brought with him this 1908 pattern haversack that he'd used on the campaign, containing all sorts of little knickknacks and bits and pieces that he'd used and he'd taken from Turkish prisoners. But the thing that we're interested in today is his camera, his vest pocket Kodak, otherwise known as the VPK. Now, the VPK, introduced by Kodak in 1912, was a hugely popular piece of kit. I mean, it pretty much revolutionised photography because it meant that everybody could carry a camera with them wherever they went. VPK, vest pocket Kodak, because it literally, you could just tuck it into the tunic pocket. And for the first few months of the war, these were hugely popular. Officers and other ranks took them with them. We've got some fantastic photographs taken in the trenches of France and Flanders and other campaigns all over the world, taken with these little cameras. Now that became a very big problem to the War Office because a lot of these photographs start turning up in newspapers, as a lot of officers and men would be selling their photographs. The newspapers were paying a lot of money for the photographs. So despite the fact that Kodak was then advertising this as a trench camera, the War Office eventually outlawed photography altogether, with great punishments for anybody caught with cameras. And so most of the cameras start disappearing. It becomes much more difficult to find photographs taken during the First World War or on active service, although it's true to say plenty of officers and men did still keep their cameras with them and did take sneaky photographs whenever they could. And Leslie Fox was no exception. He bought this little camera in 1916. It's actually scratched on the back, L.B. Fox 1916. And they were such a great little piece of kit because it was completely compact. You could take your sneaky photographs, push the thing back together again, tuck it in your pocket, and nobody would be any the wiser. Sadly, we don't have any of the photographs that Leslie Fox took with this camera himself, but what we do have in the Great War Huts collection is this photograph of Fox himself, taken by another officer in the 5th Suffolks in his battalion, taken just before the 5th Suffolks went into action at the Battle of Gaza in 1917. And if you look carefully, you can see that Fox is actually holding this very camera in his hand, and he has the case in his other hand. So this is a very, very real, tangible link with the Battle of Gaza and the campaign in Palestine. And I think it's a lovely thing to highlight today, because these little cameras have done so much to make sure that 100 odd years later, we still have all those fantastic images of the First World War taken by the men who were there actually in the front line.